So let me introduce you to our lovely guest, Dr. Kelly Halderman. Kelly and I have been friends for a long time, and admittedly, this weekend's the first time we've actually met in person. But we've done a lot of videos before. She's a brilliant mind. She's a medical doctor by training, and had an experience very similar to Kim's, where she got sick and found her own answers, and now here we are. Kelly, thank you for taking a few minutes after this busy weekend.
It has been busy, but it's been really fun, and it was so nice to meet you guys in person. I feel like I know you two because of all the amazing videos, so it was like, oh, the family's here. So yeah, like we share so much in common, Kim, with our medical diagnoses and then given basically death sentences, right? So it's like we moved on to bigger and better things, and that's when I moved away from medicine and I started to get into naturopathic medicine. But then even beyond that, I think is addressing foundations of health, in which you guys do really well. It just always comes back to how well our foundational health is in determining everything else. So I totally agree with your philosophy and how you guys treat people and help people. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. So we have a limited time to take on a massive subject. Right, because there's been a couple things lately. I don't know if you saw this or not, but you were talking about the shampoo recall because of endocrine disruptors. But there was also another article that came out that was talking about endocrine disruptors in popular sportswear brands, in like sports bras, and these are like big companies. Like the North Face was in there.
Yeah, Athleta. How do you say?
Athleta. I mean,
you know what I'm talking about.
Either. Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
So they had a few articles of clothing in theirs. There were like 5 of them, and I can't remember all of them.
North Face is a very popular brand. This is kind of scary.
But this is like clothing. Like they were talking specifically about sports bras and T-shirts, things that you have right next to your skin. I found a great article, a government article, which kind of surprises me because you know how I feel, explaining what endocrine disruptors are. That really put it into English, but we'd love to hear your take on.
Yeah, I think that there's natural occurring hormones in our body, and they have receptors. And so those receptors, like a lock and key, will bring in estrogens, and then that'll set off a cellular cascade. But in our environment right now, there's a lot of endocrine disrupting entities that they do the similar role of like estrogen. So we call those estrogen disrupting. They'll come into the receptor, into the lock, but they won't allow that normal cascade to happen. And so there's such widespread effects. It's like we could sit here all day and talk about the downstream effects of that, but we're talking about cancer, we're talking about reproductive health, we're talking about life as we know it on this earth being completely disrupted from all of these chemicals. And now you're telling me that we're wearing things close to our, as women, to our breasts, and then look at the breast cancer rates anyway. And now that they're in clothing, it's even more imperative that we pay attention to this, and we recognize that detoxification shouldn't be just some hobby or something we kind of think about. It's something that we need to build into our lifestyles every single day.
Right. And what was the acronym that you just used?
The FREE strategy.
The FREE strategy.
FREE strategy. So filter, reduce, exchange, eliminate. It really is. It's based on the work of the Low Tox Life by Alex Stewart, and she talks about how it seems like such an uphill battle because we are up against so many chemicals, right? It's almost depressing, to be honest. Like you lose hope. You're like, I can't do anything. I can't drink water. I can't eat food without having some sort of exposure. So she talks about this FREE strategy just being a better strategy to start to make these changes. I mean, it would be nice if we could wave the magic wand and get everything to go away, but like having the steps and having to like look at where maybe the worst toxicants are getting in your body. Are you slathering yourself with
Bath and Body Works?
Bath and Body? Need we say more? Mic drop. Bath and Body Works, right? I mean, are you so then start there, right? Start there. But like the free acronym, I really like that because then it gives people like an idea of maybe where to start and how to start.
Because I think people just freak out.
Absolutely.
Like people tell me like, well, now you just tell me I can't do anything. So like, I'm fine. I'm just not gonna do anything because it's impossible to like get it all. So I'll do nothing. I'm like, well, something would be better than nothing. And I don't think it's like about. Then other people think like I'm just trying to scare them. Like, well, you're just making everybody nervous. And I'm like, no, it's like awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to make you aware.
The only reason why you're nervous.
I didn't know 5 years ago that the lotion I used or the perfume I used was causing problems. Like I didn't know. So I'm like, no, I'm just trying to share. Just trying to help you be aware.
When we know better, we do better.
Right. But as I say, the only reason why people are nervous is because they know they're guilty. Right? So it's like you have all these stuff, you go walk into people's houses and they've got plug-in things in the walls and to me it like smells horrible now. I'd much rather have the essential oil smell that you've incorporated, but they're just not, I don't want to use the word clueless. I think ignorant is a better term.
Like they just don't know.
Not, it's like, well, everybody's using it. It's like, well, there's a reason why men, and this coming from a dude's perspective, there's a reason why men's testosterone levels are like 30% less than what they used to be in the 70s. And it's all these, we just got to clean up our environment.
Okay. So I think it's simple things too. Get rid of your plastic, change it for glass. Like, I mean, you could take little tiny steps. Like, okay, this month you're going to ditch the plastic Tupperware and you're going to replace it with glass.
Right.
Next month, get a water filter. Like,
Right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be huge, like, the things aren't really that hard once you do them.
Right, and then all of a sudden you're going to start liking them.
Right, that's right.
So it's like we've completely changed all the lotions and soaps and shampoos that we have in our house, and I think they're awesome products. My last holdout is the hair product that I use.
Oh yeah.
Once I figure out how to replace that, like I'm done. I've switched completely over to shave soap. I've switched completely to natural toothpaste, natural deodorant. So that last, like, just gotta find that one.
Isn't that interesting though? It's just like these little things, which just the little things, but they add up so fast. I mean, when you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and then brushing your teeth with the fluoride and you're doing, and it's just like the end of the day. If we just take inventory, that's why we talked about this weekend, the 3-day log. What are you doing? What are you putting in your body? What kind of water are you drinking? And again, it's just, they're simple. They're very simple, but until you bring the awareness, they're really not.
And think of it this way too. It's like tomorrow we're flying home. So our airplane is going to go from Minneapolis to Salt Lake City. If that airplane takes off from Minneapolis and gets a heading that's 3 degrees off, we're going to end up in LA rather than Salt Lake. So it's the little tiny changes now at the beginning that are going to make a big difference towards the end.
That's right. Yeah, so what do you guys see as the most difficult barrier with people you work with when you're trying to decrease the toxic load? Yeah.
Food addiction. 100%.
Yeah, I would say food is harder.
Once we get over that hurdle, I think it's like it's getting over the activation energy of a chemical reaction, right? It's once we get over that food addiction, it is what it is. Yeah. Then I think people start to see a difference, and it's like, oh, I can make this and this and this.
Do you think it's because their brain chemistry is starting to work better too? Because the
100%.
MSG, I mean, these things are cytotoxins to the brain too.
Absolutely, and I wish we had time today to like get off on that whole like, the glutamate excitatory pathways.
Yeah.
People are addicted,
yeah.
And it's, from our perspective, we have to have some empathy. Or I guess it would be sympathy, because, well, it's empathy for me, because I know what it's like to have those addictions. You're not, but
I know it's such a
it's tough for people.
I think too that once they sample, so we've been giving away things at our classes.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave away, like, we have a new place in town that does non-toxic soaps, lotion, whatever. That's like all essential oil based.
Mm-hmm.
So we like have been giving that away as like our giveaway. And then the people are like, oh, I had no idea this even existed. Like, So then I think you can like clear those hurdles easier versus just saying like you need to switch all your personal care products, and they're like,
it's so esoteric. They're like, what? They don't carry that at Walmart. Like,
right?
What
do
am
I
do?
Yeah. So I think what's you, but food is probably the.
Well, yeah, food is, but even you throw Walmart in the mix. We're even starting to see a lot of these natural products in Walmart. So big companies are starting to.
They're better.
They're getting better.
Right, and we talked about there was the shampoo recall, the carcinogens in dry shampoo. These are big headlines, and I just saw today that Clorox now is saying, "Oh, oops, we're having a recall," or something. Something in our product is toxic, and I'm like, "Really?
Right.
Okay." But at least it's getting out to the masses. Where then we feel very vindicated because we've been sitting here saying this all along.
Right.
And then that information comes out. And like Dr. Megan was saying today, Dr. Megan Kirschling of Bonagora, that's where we're at. She was saying today, TikTok has really helped educate some of the people, some of the younger people as well on some of these topics. So that demand has to be there in order for big box stores like Walmart to buy it, right? So it's like awareness, education, and then we see those things in. I mean, they have a gluten-free aisle now, albeit, it's kind of processed.
Trash.
Okay, it's trash.
But
we're
it's a
making
step.
headway.
It's
Yeah,
a step.
we're making headway. In
So I want to make a prediction, and I'm going to give it 5 years. In the next 5 years, we're going to have a recall on hand sanitizer. Watch. Totally disrupts your gut microbiota. So here we have all these people, bathing themselves in hand sanitizer, thinking that they're killing germs, which they are, but they're also killing their gut bugs. And why is there now class action lawsuits against Roundup? Because it kills your gut bugs and that causes cancer. So
here it is.
Hand
You
sanitizer.
heard it first.
That's
Hand
right.
And soda companies. I think you're going to see class action lawsuits against soda companies. That's the gospel according to me.
Well, I hope we keep moving in that direction. It gives me hope to think that we will. I know people are obsessed with hand sanitizer, and I just kind of chuckle. Like it really doesn't have any positive outcome and strategy. But you kill your good bacteria. So we talked all weekend about how important that is, and again, toxins, any kind of environmental toxin will affect your gut microbiome, and that's downstream effects are hormone metabolism, like all the detoxification from these chemicals. It's a vicious cycle. So, I really do hope there's continued change. And you guys are on the front line. I watched your Instagram, your reels all the time. I'm like, preach, because you're right, you're spot on, and you guys are on the forefront of it. So I'm just happy to be here with you today.
Sweet. Thank you.
We know you're on a time crunch. We thank you for that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do this again very soon.
Totally. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.